Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp of the Limp, and I'm here with the next part of the playthrough that I'm doing on Conflict of Heroes, our quick little infantry skirmish, little head-on bash that we're going to have here. Just to address it real quick, the giveaway that I'm doing, not going to announce it just yet. I'm going to give you guys one more video before we do it. So if you're just now hearing about it, there is a giveaway for a copy of this game, Storms of Steel, Conflict of Heroes, 3rd edition. And a giveaway for Awakening the Bear. All you have to do to enter is to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment in the first video. All right, part 1. That's the only one that I'm counting. So you guys can comment on this video, by all means. But the comments that I'm going to be counting are from part 1 of this series. So leave a comment in that video, any comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's all you got to do to be entered for a chance to win either this or Awakening the Bear, which is also awesome, just like, this one. Uva actually was nice enough to comment on the setup that I've got going on here. He's like, hey, by the way, you remember you can put guys back there. Yeah, it just, thematically, it didn't really set with me because in my mind, what I'm kind of seeing here is the Russians are sneaking up. They snuck in a couple of snipers early on. They were reconning. They were scouting the town. They're like, okay, we've got it, set up. We're gonna rush the Germans and see if we get them. And you know how the Soviets were. They weren't the best about trying to take care of their own troops. They had more manpower than they had common sense when it came to the leadership. So tactically, the way that the Soviets have been instructed to handle this mission is to literally just throw a wall of men at it, and they're going to sneak forward as far as they can get until they get spotted. And then pretty much once they get spotted, they hope to rush the enemy and clear them out of the town before the enemy is able to just mow them down. Because once they're spotted, that's it. They're just out in the field, and there's going to be machine gun bullets just flying at them left and right. Hopefully the snipers might be able to even that up a little bit. But if I had taken a sniper and put back here somewhere, I mean, the snipers already get a bonus. They get to fire at their flank defense anyway. And then having them have to cut their defenses in a couple of different directions, I thought it would have made it just a little bit too easy on me. So I decided to have everything just focused down in one direction, pushing forward. Plus, I mean, the snipers have good positions where they're at now. This one's got a line of sight over in this direction. This one's got a line of sight going pretty much almost everywhere. They get to fire at flanks, or at flank defense. They've got, excellent range. I mean, their range would extend back to here, and it's not like they can't damn near see every opposing force. So hopefully the snipers aren't going to just decimate. The Germans do have some advantages in the fact that all of their guys don't take near as many action points to fire, and they have some severe firepower. Like this machine gun over here only takes 2 points to fire, but has a firepower of 5, versus like some of my infantry that have firepowers of 3, but take 4 action points to fire. The snipers with their 2 and 4, like all of theirs is worse. All the Soviets are worse across the bat. The best ones that I have infantry-wise are the Rifle 43s, which have a firepower 4 versus a 3, but it's still the same range of 6. Where their regular infantry's range is 7. Their shortest range guy is a range of 4, but he could still do an extended range out to 8, even at 2 firepower. So he can reach out and touch anyone anyway, but even with 4, he can get to about here. all the way down. So he'll cook anybody that gets near him anyway. And then with the machine guns, with their ranges of 12 and 13, I mean, they can hit everything all the way across the board. I'm kind of thinking of this side as like my sacrificial offering. Like, here, you just maul these guys down while these guys rush in and try to swamp the town. My plan is to kind of bring this group in here and kind of flank around. Also, part of what I've decided to do when it comes to counteractions, execute mission orders, stuff like that, when it comes to the solitaire deck, that I'm going to use that as kind of the German fallback, secure the town, keep the Russians from taking the town type of order, okay? I can't really come up with a very specific order because it kind of depends on where I'm at the time, but I'll treat that order as a defensive fallback, get in better position, something to that effect. Like if this guy is, swarmed or has got a group coming at him and he gets an execute mission order, it might behoove him to fall back a little bit so they don't have a line of fire on him or get consolidated into town. Same with these guys. Maybe it would be better if they fell back into some stronger buildings and made the Russians push up into the town and then fire down on them as they moved in. Something like that. We'll just have to see how the game plays out. It's really going to depend on how far I get before they get spotted. I thought about doing it to where on the German turns, before the firing gets kicked off, that I would roll a die to see if they spot as like their action. But I thought that might kick it over a little bit too quick as far as the way I'm doing the hidden movement for this to get them to see me, because then that would be giving them a 20% chance on top of the 30% chance I'm already giving myself to get spotted. And I thought that might be a bit much. So basically the Germans are just going to stay where they're at and not do anything until the fire pretty much kicks off. And that's going to kick off either when I take my first shots because I've got my guys into the position I want to get them in, or they spot me because I'm in the movement and, fail my roll. One more little addendum that I've made for this. This is a short game. It's not that many rounds. And since this isn't set up like a true solitaire mission with the extra rounds to adjust for the movement or the movement of the marker from the cards, we're not going to worry about that. And when it comes to hidden movement, generally speaking, right, the movement cost on the action points goes from a 1 to a 5. So if they're wanting to do hidden movement, that would be 5 action points instead of just a 1 action point. But the thing of that is let's say I do that, more than likely this whole group move would fail their spent check, so they'd all be spent. Same here, they'd all be spent after 1. Okay, so I'd have to pass. The Germans obviously pass, so we go here. And then if they don't get spotted again on one move, they move, they both get spent, I move to there, and I'd be damn near halfway over with the mission before I've really even got started with it. So the one other little adjustment I've made is we're not going to charge them 5 action points to make the move. I can obviously see why you would do that in a heads-up match when you've got another player sitting across from you, but it's not needed, I don't think, in this scenario. I've already made adjustments to see if my guys are getting spotted, so we're going to just stick with that 1 movement point, but do understand that that is different from the specific rules if you are playing in a heads-up match. I'm making little concessions here or there for the solitaire aspect and to account for the hidden movement and all the other good stuff. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're starting at 0. I've given myself 8 cap points, and that's pretty much to balance out the fact that they do have cap cards in here. I've got cap points. That's it. There's no other cards. In the order of battle, it says I should be getting these cards, and then my opponent should be getting these cards. Obviously, my opponent can't get those cards, so since my opponent can't get those, I'm not going to take these, just so I don't give myself any type of advantage, or actually, that's vice versa, but you know what I mean. And I think the snipers are actually supposed to get something else, too. I think they get an automatic card in the rulebook, but we're not worrying about that. We're going to focus on the game itself. So I've gone ahead and just put both my forces on. This is considered a group move because they're coming from off map. This is where the Soviets will enter. Obviously, they can only enter onto a full hex. You cannot enter onto these half hexes. which are all across the bottom of the map. That's why they're in the positions they're in. So we're not going to worry about that as like a first action because they can't fail the action of coming onto the map. Neither of these group moves would fail. They effectively are coming from off map and they're landing there. So we're going to start with them there. That way we don't have to worry about pulling them off just to put them right back on because nothing would change. They don't have the possibility to get spent when they're first coming onto the map. Now, though, we are going to get started. I can move, and it doesn't matter who I move. If I move just one, I'm still doing a movement spotted check, or if I do group moves. But I'm only going to do one spotted check if it's a whole group move. So I'm going to group move the shit out of these guys until they get spotted in hopes that they don't get spotted. So what we're going to do for our group move is remember, as long as they're contiguous, all in the same hexes, or not same hexes, but contiguous hexes, they can group move as a single action. So we're going to group move up. They're crawling through the corn. Little children of the corn thing going on here. Now we're going to make 2 rolls. One is for the sped check. Hold on. All right, mark these guys as stressed because they've done that. So we're going to do one for the sped check, and then we're going to do one for the spotted check. Sped check. And they are spent. Son of a bitch. And now for our spotted check. Okay, so we're not spotted. Got a 3. Remember, it's a 1 or a 2 will fail the spot, and obviously they failed their spets. So this isn't good. This group is not getting as far up as I wanted. I might have to sacrifice a round of this match, which is really bad for me because the Germans just need to hold out. And I don't want to sacrifice anything, but I could spend some of my caps to go ahead and move them. Hold up. Now, let me think about this. If I spend caps as a group move, that should be 1 cap for a group move? Or is this 4 caps for a group move? Obviously, I would move the others first because these guys are stressed. Let me look at that. All right, so after reading it, it says that the group move is equal to the cost of the most expensive move of any of the units. So if all these units, they're spending 1 movement point just to move through the corners. If, for example, one were moving into, let's say this were a tree line where it costs 2 movement points instead, then effectively they all cost 2 movement points. So you make just a single spent check to see if they all get spent like I did here. So I would think, all right, you guys let me know if you think I'm wrong on this, that if I wanted to do another group move with these guys, let's ignore the fact that they're stressed now. Now that they're spent, I would only have to spend 1 cap point to move them. That's what I'm thinking is the correct way to play that, like according to the rules. I could be wrong on that. I could see it going either way, but I think the way the rules are written that I am correct. You guys let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I think I am right. All right, so remember, we're not doing anything for the Germans yet. They can't see anybody, so we're still good. And just to show you guys, for those who haven't played this, there is a terrain effects chart that will show you defensive modifiers, concealing, blocking terrain, foot, vehicle traffic, whether or not it changes the movement point cost, all that stuff. We see for our corn, which is right here, there's no defensive bonuses, and it's yes and no as far as blocking terrain, which is kind of what I'm doing now. It's blocking and concealing terrain up until I get caught. And then when I am caught, it's nothing. It's not even a bullet stop. But it doesn't cost me any extra to move through it. So it's just the 1 movement point. Now, remember, I could go ahead and just fire with my snipers and try to plink off someone before this gets kicked off. But I definitely want my guys to get as far up as possible because they're out of range right now from being able to fire at these guys. But the Germans have the range to just destroy my guys, so I definitely do not want them to see me just yet. But this group can only get within a short range as it is. Let's see. This guy, his line of sight will start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, woo. I can only get to there. So I can only move 1 line up before these guys are automatically spotted. Because remember, I did make that rule that within half range of whatever is listed for the Germans. So like 2 hexes for this guy, 4 hexes, 4 hexes, 6 hexes for these guys. They automatically get spotted if they're at half range or under. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this guy goes to there. Both of the machine guns are up. So effectively, these guys are only going to get 1 more. But like I said, this left flank is pretty much a eat the fire coming from the machine guns, so the machine guns aren't chewing up this right side. All right, so we're going to do a group move over here, and I think I want to move the 41 guys in front because my 43s here are the better units. We're doing another group move, so let's go this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here, and this guy just won't move since that is, yeah, there's nowhere for him to go. That's just a little half one. But there is a building here, some buildings which are blocking off line of sight here regardless. But yeah, that's going to be our group move because these two are 41, and is that 41? Yeah, 41. So they're the weaker of my infantry units. So I have 3 strong infantry units here and then 1 strong infantry unit over here, which I put on the far flank in hopes that they'll shoot up these guys first. Same thing here. Hopefully they'll shoot up those guys first and I'll have the strongest left to give me the best chance to move forward. Okay, so let's do our spot and then our, or spent and then our spot check. So spent, we're not spent. All right, come on, work with me. Don't spot me, don't spot me. Oh, not spotted. Okay, I hate it. The 7 on these damn dice looks so similar to a 1. Okay, now, unfortunately, shit. Okay, I just remembered. These guys are going to be stressed now. These guys aren't, because I'm still using the stress mechanic. I'm going to use it on them too. I just like the stress mechanic. It gives so much gameplay to it. It gives a nice level of chrome that you can't just keep activating that one unit and go, moving him forward because it does make it more likely. The difference between a cost of 1 and a cost of 2 is huge when it comes to this die because I think there's only one on there. No, there's 2 ones. There's 2 ones and 1 2. Yeah, but on a 10-sided die, adding that extra number that can cost your guy to become spent, that's 10%. That's a big deal when it comes to the spent check on these guys. So I do not want to risk getting these guys spent because now a group move with them would be 2 points instead of 1 point. So let's spend some caps. And like I said, I think I'm right on this. I could be wrong, but I think I am right that it's a single cap point to move this one group forward as an entire group move. So we're going to do that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm having to spend the caps because they are spent. We'll put that right over there. And now let's do it. So here is our spent check. Well, I don't have to make a spent check because they're all spent. Here is our spotted check. Oh, no. Okay, game over. I just lost. Okay, that's it. That's it. The Germans get to activate now, and I have a lot of field left to get across, but I kind of expected that to happen. All right, so now we're going to start drawing cards for the Germans and doing everything. It's fully kicked off. One of these dummies was moving through the cornfield, and he poked his head up, and the Germans saw him and decided to take him out. Actually, this, I have not been able to get it out of my head. I'm going to sidetrack and talk about military shit for a sec, so skip forward a couple minutes if you don't like that. Reminds me of a documentary I watched about Marine Scout snipers and the training they go through. And there's actually this one thing. It looks like it would be fun to try, like just if you're a civilian wanting to do it. But I know how much of a pain in the ass it would be because, I've been through Marine training, but I've never been through, Scout sniper type training. And they would have to effectively work through this wooded area, right? I think it was like 200 or 300 yards. And what their goal was is they would doll themselves up. I shouldn't say that about Marines. They would get camouflaged up in their ghillie suit as best as they could, and their goal was to move through the wooded area as slow and carefully as possible because you're creeping, you're stalking. And what they needed to do was get as close to their target, which was a couple of actual scout snipers who had already been training, like a couple of instructors, and they were sitting up by a truck up on this hill. So they would have to get all the way close enough that they could see them through their sniper rifle. The instructors would hold up a letter. They would have to be able to sight in tell them what that letter is to prove that they've actually gotten close enough, then take a shot with a blank at that range without being spotted. And there would be an instructor out in the field. So when a guy, said, hey, I'm in range, the instructor would get within 10 yards, I think, or somewhere around there, 10 or 20 yards of wherever the guy was, and says, okay, I'm within 10 feet, 10 yards. And the instructors would try to walk him over using binoculars, of course, to where they think the student is. If they are wrong, that's when the student would take the shot. And then I think they would get a chance again to see if they spotted him, or if it happened then. I forget exactly the order on it, but they could only pass if the student was able to prove that they were able to sneak up on the instructors, sight in, prove that they could see what they were targeting, and take the shot, all without being spotted by trained scout snipers. I mean, that is hard freaking core training right there. And so many guys, like, they get spotted. And there was one guy, I actually gave him a hell of a lot of credit for this. They got the video crew watching, of course, and you only have, I think, 3 hours to do this. And it takes a while, and it wears you out to low crawl all that way. And the guy got spotted. So he had to run back to the back, and he could do it again, but he only had, like, I think half an hour. So he did like the fastest low crawl, but he got his ass up there and was able to take his shot before he ran out of time and passed. So he effectively did it twice in one go around. Really, check it out. I'm sure you can pull it up on YouTube, but it's like Marine Scout Sniper School or something to that effect. Awesome documentary to check out. But yeah, this makes me think of that. The dummies out here got spotted by the instructors. Okay, so let's draw a card. We're going to start doing the card number for these guys. And this is the thing I was talking about up here. We're not going to worry about moving that forward because we don't have that many. They do not have anyone at priority range, execute counteractions. They don't need to go into defensive positions. So, unhit AI, closest to a fresh unit that just acted. Well, these guys aren't fresh. They are spent. And these guys didn't just act. So, let's see. Closest to the lowest defense value unit, attack even if at long range, +1 cap. Okay, it's going to be one of these two because they're close to these guys now. So let's see, how far is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's within his range, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 and 1, half a dozen the other. We'll give him the better shot because this guy's got the heavier machine gun. So he will take the shot, and he's getting +1 cap. So that's effectively making it to where he's got like a 6 firepower here. So you see he's got 5-1. And how you determine what their to hit number is you subtract their firepower from the defensive units, defensive modifiers after all modifiers are accounted for. We see he's in the cornfield. They have no defensive modifiers, so it's just a 12. So 12 minus the 6, because he's getting the +1 cap effectively for the attack, is what's making him a 6 instead of 5, means that his to hit number is a 6. Plus, if he fires and meets it or beats it by more than 4, it's an automatic kill. So if they get a 10 on a 2d6 roll, they kill the unit outright. 6 or higher, the unit has to draw a damage counter, and then 5 or under, they don't get damaged. All right, so let's roll for him, see what he gets. Hopefully he rolls low. No whammy, no whammy. 8. Oh, no. Well, I saw a 6. I was a little worried there for a sec, but I can deal with drawing a single counter. All right, so let's draw for him. All right, Gimpy's looking away, and there's no enemies to draw this time. Okay, here's one. Let's see what we got. We got a stunned. Ooh. Until he rallies, he cannot do anything. He has no firepower, no movement, no anything. So he's effectively spent or stunned. Okay, so let's draw a card to see if he is spent. It is... No, he is not spent. I'm glad that's a blue card because it burns that. But we will mark him with a stressed counter. And this is how the Germans are just going to tear us up because they have 2 for their attack, their action point cost to make a severe attack versus mine of 4. Actually, I think it's 4 all the way across the board. Yeah, 4. So it costs them half or just under half or just over half of what mine cost to act. But I have almost twice the units, so this should even things out. All right, so since we're spotted, there's no reason to worry about it. Let's just keep pushing as fast and as hard as we can. Let's go ahead and just keep group moving these guys up. They're still contiguous, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's part of the group move as well. So all of them moving up. Again, I'm trying to slam these guys forward as fast as I can. Let's see if it's going to spend them. No one. 4. We're good. But they are stressed now. So we'll pull that over. And now we're back to the Germans. Let's run another card for them and see what they're going to do. It's probably going to be an attack. Unhit AI. Closest to a fresh unit that just acted attack. All right, so these are the fresh units. He's the closest that has range. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, he is just now in normal range. He could have fired at far range. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 for either one of these. So let's roll a die. 1 through 3, him, and 4, 5, 6, this guy. Because I don't want him taking out my better guy. Let's hope for a load number. Nope, of course not. He's going for my better guy. Of course he is, but at least they're not getting a cap bonus here. All right, so my defense is 12. He's not getting any modifiers. He has an attack of 4, so that's going to be a hit number of 8. And I think it's, if I remember right, the AI won't attack if it's like an 11 or 9. It's one of those numbers. Like, if it's a bad attack, they won't take it, but generally I'll give him the shot if it's like at least a 10 or better. So he's going to hit on an 8 or better. Hopefully no whammy. Look at that son of a bitch. Got a 9. Okay, but he would have needed train tracks to kill him. Let's see, it was this one here because it was 43. So let's draw another card. I got a feeling I'm not going to win this round or win this game because my guys got spotted just a little bit too early. All right, not looking. Give me this one. Let's see what we got. All right, no whammy. What is this? Another stunned. Okay, great. I need to rally my guys. What the hell? If I spend the action trying to rally him, I'm just going to get shot all to hell. I don't know. What? Should I just run the guys forward? Because I need to get forward at least one more hex before I even have any of these guys in range. And all these dummies are spent. It would cost me... How many points is it to rally? Oh no! And I just realized with this guy being stunned, I've lost my group move because they're no longer contiguous. I can't do that anymore. No! This is bad. Okay, this is bad. Shit. And these guys are stressed too. All right, what am I going to do? Let me think. Okay, I want to try to get at least a couple of my infantry up in range to see if I can get some fire going. I'll move my lower power infantry first. Hopefully they'll shoot over in this direction. So we'll move these guys up as such. And we'll put this on them. That just means I just need to not roll a 2. And I won't be spent. Hopefully. All right, guys. I am not promising you a good game because I got a feeling I'm going to get raffle stomped here because my guys are spending quick and going down pretty quick. All right, so let's draw one more card. We'll let the AI do one more go round. He's the one that's stressed now. We'll mark these guys as stressed since they did move up, but I got a couple of them and I still got my snipers, so I can do some stuff with them. All right, let's draw a card, see what the AI is going to do. No one in priority. Highest attack rating. AI farthest from the lowest domestic value. Oh. Unit closest to AI. Okay. Their highest is dummy over here. Farthest from the lowest defensive value. All these guys have the same, so it doesn't matter. And they're all equally close to an AI unit. So, yeah, we're going to have him conduct an attack here. And I'm going to have him just attack the one that's already stunned, because that would make sense. He can kill him off before I get a chance to rally him. He is getting a bonus on the caps. So again, he's at 6. 6 attacking this guy. So we know his to hit number is going to be a 6. So anything 6 or higher, and he's just going to flat out kill the infantry. Yeah. Let's roll this. We know he got a 2. No whammy, no whammy. Oh, he got him. Oh, damn. All that had to be was a 3 or under. I am not doing well. I am not doing well. I'm thinking my strategy was not good. I might even replay this off camera and see, like, playing as the Germans, how I do. I don't know. All right, so once you lose a unit when you're playing solitaire, they do take the place on the track up until the dark parts here, so you can always maintain at least 3 caps. But on the next round, I won't be able to go back up to 8. I'm only going to be able to go back up to 7. All right, so we're going to pause here. I'm not doing too well. Blowing a hole in my lines is just bad, because now I can't activate these guys at the same time for group moves or group attacks. They got the center over here. They got the center. I mean, they're doing good. I got to give them props. They're hitting the points that they need to hit. I think, all things considered, now that I'm trying this, that it might have been better that once I got spotted that I tried to at least suppress them with some sniper fire, maybe at least suppress the machine guns to slow down the attacks or suppress someone, you know, take out this infantry group over here. That would open it up to my flank. I really should have done that, now that I think about it. But it's a learning experience. And you guys don't watch this for my excellent strategy anyway. So we'll pick up on the next round, and we'll see how I fare against the AI when I only have 4 units left to activate, because the rest are spent or dead. All right, y'all take care. Don't forget about the giveaway. Remember, leave a comment in part 1 of this series, the Storms of Steel series. I'll have talked about it in the very beginning of the video. Make sure you leave a comment there. Subscribe to the channel. You'll be entered for a chance to win. All right, y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one.